Hari Om. Good evening to all my dear sadhaks. A very warm welcome to all of you. I hope today we get through without any technical hassles. Okay. Yeah, come. Let's pray together. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu saha viryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. We all together offer our humble salutations to the Lord Almighty to seek His grace, His blessings, His mercy, forgiveness, strength, Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, and His special grace to make this knowledge a living experience in all our lives. Our salutations to the entire Guru Parampara and gratitude. Om Tat Sat.
कृष्ण स्वागतं कृष्ण शरणागतं कृष्ण मधुरापुरि सदना मृदुवदना मधुसूदन.
Okay, today we are on the Divine Discourse number 92, the 21st of July 2020, Sharvarinama Samvatsara, Dakshinayana, Varsha Rutu, Shravana Mas, Shukla Paksh, Prathama, Pushyami Nakshatra, Vajra Yoge, Bhavakarane. On this Tuesday evening, being an auspicious occasion, Hari Preranaya Hari Pritirtham. O Lord the Almighty, we offer our Jnana Yajna as a prayer unto you at your lotus feet. Please bless us all. Om Tat Sat. Okay. A very warm welcome to all of you once again. Now let's start. So we have covered up till the 7th verse of the Dhyana Shlok, Dhyana Yoga yesterday. And just to give you a recap, so the Lord is very clearly saying, if you have not conquered your mind, then take your mind to be your enemy. That's for sure. And He also wants us, in such a situation, He says, oh dear spiritual seeker, look on your uncontrolled mind as your enemy. Don't come under its influence or sway. Very clearly He says. And then in the next verse, He takes us over to talking of people who have conquered their mind. There He spoke that is an enemy if you have not conquered. And here He says, if there are some yogis, some sadhaks, who with their persistent efforts, consistent efforts, they are able to get hold of their mind gradually. And they rise above the dualities of Shita Ushna, heat and cold at the level of the body, Sukha Dukkha at the level of the mind, and Mana Apamana at the level of the intellect. And there we discussed about two beautiful stories to illustrate how at the level of the body and mind, a yogi in a dharmasala who was abused by mosquitoes, how he won over his mind and he changed his course of thinking, and he was grateful to the mosquitoes. He said, because of you all, I was able to do some sadhana today. Otherwise, I would have just enjoyed sleeping. In any which case, one day or the other, every human body has to go into deep sleep for eons together. We don't know. So rather I do my sadhana and work towards the upliftment of the soul. And then we heard about a Swami, Parvaille Swami, who was living where no honor, dishonor, nothing touched him. Sometimes the villagers came and fell at his feet. They garlanded him, they praised him. He was the same. Sometimes they all came and without he even realizing what has happened, they hit him with sticks, they hit him with hand, they kicked him, they slapped him, but he was the same. What here these stories tell us that there are people who have reached that stage. We are not talking about any friction stories over here. That is what we need to understand. There are people. So you also make an attempt. It's all in your hands. The more you practice, the more you put in your effort, you can achieve that goal one day. Who said you cannot do? This is what the Lord is exactly trying to tell us. Be consistent in your efforts. Be steadfast. Now we come to the 8th verse. Chapter 6, verse number 8. Please repeat. Dhyana vijnana truptatma kutasto vijitendriyaha yukta ityuchyate yogi samaloštashmakanchanaha. Dhyana vijnana truptatma kutasto vijitendriyaha yukta ityuchyate yogi samaloštashmakanchanaha. He further describes the yogi now. From the previous verse, he spoke about how is he at the level of the body, at the level of the mind, and at the level of the intellect. Now he says, Jnana and Vijnana. Let's understand these words. Jnana, as we all know, is knowledge. That is, we are talking about the supreme knowledge. Knowledge about the Almighty God, not about the secular knowledge of the world. So this Jnana is what you have gained from listening to the Guru and the scriptures. By Shravana, you have got to understand. So this is Jnana. Now, Vijnana is that which a sadhak gradually by manana, contemplating, clearing all his doubts. Doubts could be contrary doubts or extremely opposite doubts. Abhavana, asambhavana, viparita bhavana, what they call, all sorts of doubts. He clarifies, and then he comes to a stage where he is completely convinced about this knowledge. He starts experiencing all that which is told. He sees a dramatic change in his own life. The initial signals are you start getting more and more peaceful. You start seeing that your anger reduces, your hatred reduces, your frustration towards life, that starts reducing. And slowly you will start loving your life. You will feel what a great opportunity I've got. Oh God, thank you so much. You are an altar for me to look up to. I have got something great which is never going to go away. Not like the people around. When you do something, you are good to them, you give them something, they are all good to you. When you don't meet their requirements, they turn their face against you at every level. So the soul, the jiva, it starts understanding that yes, now there is a refinement in my entire life, and slowly it starts changing for the better. So here, this realization is known as Vijnana. Now this particular yogi, he is Jnana Vijnana, is having both now. Initially he was having only the knowledge of the scriptures but no proper understanding. And then as he starts realizing, he is equipped with both. Now when such a situation arises, what they say is, such a yogi who is completely placed himself, who has been satisfied with this knowledge, Jnana and Vijnana, he conquers his senses and remains absolutely unshaken in all situations. Says such yogis, they have come to a stage where they see Lord in everything. Materialistically also, they don't find the worldly change in values. They look upon everything as divine, be it dirt, be it even pebbles, stones, and maybe it is gold. They don't see any difference, which means they have completely lost the materialistic angle to every aspect in life. Now here, important words which are coming here, let us see. One is, they're talking about Jnana Vijnana, which we understood very clearly, that he has got a complete experience of this knowledge now, and thereby he has won over his senses. He has won over his mind, which always hankers for objects of pleasure and the bickerings. So all that is gone. Then he says, Kutastha, Jnana Vijnana Atma, Kutasto, he says. Kutastha means, he says now his mind has become like a anchor. It no more shakes. Visualize you have a sea, a ocean, where there's waves are high waves, up and down, up and down. You must have seen sometimes the sea is very rough. It just goes up and down, tossing. At that point of a time, now, if you are on the sea in a boat, imagine your boat is tossed this way, that way. It's just being tossed by the huge waves. But what this yogi has done, he has put an anchor into the sea and he has completely brought his boat under control. He is no more being tossed. That is the difference. So which means the mind, in spite of the strong sensations around, attractions around, they don't get dissuaded or they don't fluctuate. There are so many things in the material world which you have experienced in the past and which you don't want to experience, which has been very unpleasant in the past. Now those things are coming in front of you, but you are not bothered. You are calm and peaceful because now you have put an kind of an anchor into the sea, strong. The mind is held now. It is not getting disturbed at all. This doesn't matter. I am absolutely calm and I am completely in peace. See what a havoc mind can create. And with the right understanding and practice, see what one can achieve. So, Jnana Vijnanatma Kutastha. And then he talks about Vijitendriyaha, the third one. Vijitendriya is he has controlled his senses. All those senses like horses which keep running helter-skelter. Anything they see somewhere, then yes, I want it. Whether you need it, you don't need it. Just because sometimes there is an offer, we buy things. Thinking that it will be of help some other day. Why? There is a good offer, it's coming of help now. It's coming cheap. You might have noticed many a times, if you don't make a proper list when you go for shopping to a mall, let's say, you just have it in your mind, okay, I have to buy these 2-3 things. And you go. And you'll realize after 1.5 hours, you have not even looked at what you needed to buy. You have been just shopping, moving around, window shopping, and then checking on various things, checking on offers, checking on new product line. And then you realize, what did I come here for? And I have not even gone to that shop or looking at those things. Now, if you carefully understand how this happened, this is because your mind and senses are that way. They take you, when you say the sway of the huge waves, they are nothing but that. We have to only correlate and understand. So as you entered, you saw some nice board somewhere, you saw some nice design somewhere, and you got into it. So Vijitendriya, Indriya Vijaya. He has won over his Indriyas. He has a firm control. He is entering the mall now. He has a list with him in his mind and also handwritten. He says, okay, now where is the shop? I go straight over there. And he finishes that second thing, third thing. Now it's over. So then why should I roam around here? I get off. So even there are so many pleasurable things around, he does not even look at them. How can that come? That can come only when you have this mastery over your senses. So such a person, and then finally the fourth one is the Triptatma. He is fully satisfied. Yukta and Triptatma. Yuktatma, Triptatma. He is completely in that divine knowledge because it is Jnana and Vijnana. He has not only heard it, but he has already contemplated and digested that knowledge. And being in that bliss, with constant communication with that super cosmic power, he is reveling in bliss. So this is what the Lord tries to mention over here. Sant Tukaram, we all have heard of him. A very simple living. He had a small hut. Great saint. So many followers. Many rich people used to come to him. And apart from rich people, even kings also used to come. This is about 400 years ago. So when there were a lot of small kings in different parts of the country and even in Maharashtra. So many kings were coming, and everybody when they came, they used to give him some gifts or the other. Now, this was noticed by two clever robbers. They got a hang of this. Said this, so many people are coming, and we see when they're entering, they're taking baskets of fruits and nice jewel boxes and things like that, and they are watching, observing. So they understand that okay, today so many people went in and took blessings and came out, meaning now there is a huge bounty of gifts in his house, in his small hut. So what they do is they make a plan. They said, let's try to steal during the night. And they come over there at about 1 in the night, and they see that there are two young, handsome soldiers who are walking up and down and guarding the place. He was astonished. He thought, probably is there a king around over here who is sleeping in their house where these guards are guarding their king? Nothing like that. There is no place for the third person over there in the house. It is that kind of a situation. And so let's see. Come again tomorrow. They come at 2 in the early morning. They are seeing that those guards walking up and down. And guards of another level altogether. They were not like this ordinary guards. Well built, handsome, tough. And said, my God, I think it's not right. Let's come another day. Next day they come again at 3 in the morning. And the same situation. Like this, 4 days, 5 days, every day these two guards are there. He was astonished. And what they do is, they somehow sense something. They say, I think this is not going to work. Next day they go and prostrate in front of Sant Tukaram. And they tell them, please forgive us. We wanted to steal all your precious belongings, your gifts which you had received, because we had an account of how many people came and what all they took inside. Please forgive us. But we have one thing to ask you. Because this is a confession. So they're told that this is our situation. But one thing what we want to understand from you is, who were those two guards in the night? Then Sant Tukaram says, see, they are very kind. Okay, you are making a confession, fine. That's all. They don't want to go into grudge and this and that. They were smiling and talking, fine. And he asked, there were two guards. He said, what guards? I don't have any guards. And then he asked them, can you describe them? Then these robbers started describing. Two handsome young men, well built, extremely strong and masculine. They were holding bows and arrows. And as they started explaining more and more, tears started rolling down Sant Tukaram's eyes. And he tells those robbers, oh my God, you don't know how fortunate you people are. In which life you have done some great deeds, we don't know, but you have had the darshan of Lord Rama and Lakshmana. And he feels so bad. He says, oh Lord, these things which are of no value to me, because of that you were poor, Lord, you were going up and down my this small kutia here, guarding my treasure. He tells those robbers, take everything what is there inside. Take it away. I don't want to trouble my Lord anymore. That was the kind of a attachment they had towards things. That's all. What they were worried about the trouble which they gave the Lord, but they did not worry about those precious things. Now where do we keep them? What do we do? No, they have not even opened them and seen what it is. So these are the yogis. For them, samalosh kanchanaha. Be it dirt, be it stones, be it gold, it's all the same. Because they are in their basic necessities, which they know for sure that the body gets hungry, you need to feed it. The body needs some sleep, you need to give it some rest. That's all. Rest is all that extra which a human mind out of greed has constantly started building up, which is not required. Because the purpose of this body and this mind is to gain that realization, that self-realization of what is your true self. What is the purpose of this human birth? How I can attain this self-realization? How I can make my human birth worth its blessing on me? See, I think many of you must have gone to Tirupati to have darshan of Lord Balaji. I'm just giving you a metaphor for what is human birth vis-a-vis that experience of darshan over there. And this is not for the people who have gone under the VIP darshan scheme, because that is a different experience also altogether. But people who have waited in the queue, general darshan, what they call it. People wait for 8 hours, 10 hours. Earlier, there were no systems of any batches and kind of a scientific arrangement. So people used to just go and sit in the queue. And sometimes they say people had darshan after 28 hours, 30 hours. On very important days like Vaikunta Ekadashi, even today, the general darshan, it takes about 36 hours on that day. You are in that queue, moving from one cell to another, and from that cell to another cell, those compartments in this waiting hall. And of course, you have all the facility there, the toilets and the food, whatever, water, everything. But you are constantly moving from one compartment to another. And there you get before the Lord, which you are at least about, say, 50 meters away from the Lord, and you get a few seconds to have the darshan. And there during that time, if you close your eyes or if you think of something else, by the time you can even complete that thought, you are pushed away. So a human life is of that same nature. You have waited for thousands and millions of lives to get this one rare human birth. And this rare human birth which has come, you not realizing its importance. If you say, okay, I'll pursue later, I still have age on my side, What is the hurry? We don't know when death will come. But under normal standards, you may think I'm going to live up to 80, 90 or whatever it is. You don't know. And by the time something happens and you're pushed off, as you don't get a darshan there, it's just a few seconds, 2 seconds hardly, that's all. And in that, if you think of something else, you have not seen the Lord. You have missed that opportunity. So same way this life. We have got it after having waited for so long. So one has to make complete utilization of this life. We spend hours and hours on so many things. Watching serials, gossiping to others, looking at your WhatsApp messages. So many things are there to know. If you have been in so many groups, you have enough of information, although there is a repetition, but enough of information to watch, to listen, to read. And your time. You have had your breakfast and you are in this process and it's lunchtime. Then you finish your lunch and then again you watch TV, you talk to some people here and there and again go on to WhatsApp. Then it is dinner time again. And then again you have your dinner and go off to sleep. Then the next day morning the same thing happens. If we can consciously devote time to do sadhana, now that we have this knowledge, just do sadhana, do japa. In Kali Yuga, that is the greatest means towards salvation or self-realization. Japa, japa, japa. And the Lord of the scriptures also say that with an impure mind, this knowledge will not soak into yourself. You will feel like you have understood, but you have not understood. Unless and until you have the realization of, yes, I am experiencing it now. Don't take yourself to have understood. That's a catch. Cleanse your mind. Do japa. And start rising, slowly start rising. Incidentally, tomorrow we have the 100th discourse in Kannada which we had started, because the English we started a week later. And for this 100th discourse, we are planning all the sadhaks together to do 1 lakh Mahamrityunjaya Japa and offer it at the lotus feet of the Lord, at the Yajna, for having blessed us with this opportunity. Just mere saying, giving words of thanks and salutations. We said, why not do some extra japa? Of course, everybody has got a target of japa on a daily basis. And as we also did, they all have a 3-month quarterly plan sketched out for a year. But this suddenly came. Today afternoon we announced, and I think it started building up. Now we should be able to do 1 lakh. Now here what is happening? A situation came and a thought came and we said we'll do it. And everybody got into it now. Now you are going to mentally or prepared now. I have to do this many japa. Cut on all other things. I'll take care of it tomorrow. But this day I'm going to do so much of japa. And that is the best way towards realization and to be connected with the Lord. You don't have to do any extensive, just say Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. That's all. You don't have to be a Pandit of any great shlokas. But this dedication towards Lord is important. The core of all our understanding of these scriptures eventually comes as to what we practice in life. You may listen to hours and hours of lecture, but unless and until you practice by doing sadhana, it is not going to have any impact. It's just like you may see tens of dishes in front of you of food, but till you take it and put it in your mouth, your hunger is not going to be satiated. So this knowledge has an impact only when you do your sadhana, and the best way of sadhana is japa. Your mind constantly attached to the Lord. So any questions, please post them on the WhatsApp group. And I would request all of you to gear up and make a resolve as to how much we could dedicate on our 100th discourse day. So today we are on 92. We have another 8 days to go, plus a Sunday in between. So 9 days. Probably you all can start from now itself. How much each one of you could do, will collectively take account and offer it as our humble offering to the Lord on that day for having blessed us so much. And don't forget, you doing the japa, it cleanses you also in the process and adds a lot to your mental strength, physical, emotional, spiritual strength. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Our deepest gratitude and reverence to the Almighty and the Guru Parampara for choosing us for this divine knowledge and guiding us at every step to move forward. All this wouldn't have happened excepting for your grace and grace alone. Om Tat Sat. Thank you everybody for being a part of this wonderful journey. Have a pleasant evening and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Please make up your mind about the japa and we can discuss and make a consolidated figure by tomorrow, which we start right away and we end on the 100th day. Hari Om. Thank you.